Hey guys, this is DarkArmedAlliance, and today I'm going to be deck profiling Infernoids again. The first time I deck profiled it, I was playing Notarellus Infernoids, which was really interesting, but it kind of bricked a little bit, so I changed it up and I'm playing more of a pure Lightsworn-ish build of Infernoids. But without further ado, let's get into it. But first thing, before I get into it, I'm going to take 3 cards off the bottom of the deck, and I'm going to lay them right here. Now these cards are going to be my 3 secret texts, and by these 3 cards, I'm going to tell you, Infernoids are not dead. Reasoning did get hit, Monster Gates at 1, this deck does brick occasionally, but with this one card, Infernoids are not dead. Now, I'm going to take this deck profile, and at the end, I will show you these 3 cards, okay? So let's get into it. So first off, I'm playing 1 copy of Infernoid Anunku. Now something before I get into all these Infernoids, for the new Infernoid players, is this. When you have an effect monster on the field, you cannot special summon your Infernoids any higher than level 8 with your effect monsters. Now, if you have normal monsters such as Scrap Archfiend or Gaia, the Force of Earth, I think it is, I don't remember. If those are on the field, those count as normal monsters. And XYZs do not count towards your levels because they are ranks. But with this counts. Anything lower than 8 or lower, can be special summoned. Okay? If it's higher than 8, you cannot special summon any more Infernoids. Now, you can exceed the level of 8, but 8 is the key number that you have to keep below in order to keep summoning. Okay, so I'm playing 1 copy of Anunku. With that out of the way, I'm playing 1 copy of Anunku. You banish 3 Infernoids from your graveyard to special summon this. I believe it's hand or graveyard. Let me double check. Yes, hand or graveyard. Your Infernoids can be banished from your hand or graveyard, but this requires 3, so it's a borderline god card requiring the requirement of this guy. He is ridiculously big and ridiculous effect. When he special summons, he dark holes the board. He dark holes the board, and he becomes the only lone wolf on the board. Also, when he's on the field, you contribute 1 other card, which usually is going to be him, to negate and banish a spell card or trap card. Then I play 1 copy of Deviati, which is the exact opposite. You still banish 3, but the effect of Deviati is it destroys all spell and traps except void spell and traps, which I don't play any void spell or traps in my build. Which that gives you a hint that this is not Void Imagination. Now, the cool thing about Deviati is when its effect is activated, you contribute 1 monster on your side of the field to negate a monster's effect. So it's a breakthrough skill, but you also banish that monster, which is super neat. Then I play 3 of the level 8 Infernoid, which I'm going to probably mispronounce. I call it Antidel, which I'm probably mispronouncing the hell out of it, but I play 3 of it, because you can make Hope Harboring out of it, or Divine Knight Felgrand, or stuff like that. But I'm playing 3 copies of it. It's basically your double attacker. You can attack twice with it if it attacks a monster, then you can swing at your opponents directly. Also, with these Infernoids that are smaller than Deviati and Anunku, you can tribute them to, or tribute another monster on your side of the field to banish a card in your opponent's graveyard, which so they're all DD Crows. Then I play 3 copy of, again, probably going to mispronounce it, the level 7 Infernoid, Semesta. I call it Semesta, whatever. But when it attacks, at the end of the battle phase, you can target a card on your opponent's side of the field and banish it after the battle phase. Also, it has the same effect, tribute a monster, banish a card. Then I play 3 copies of Patrula, the level 4 Infernoid. It's basically an MST. You can target a spell or trap on the field and destroy it. Also, same thing, can target a card in the graveyard by tributing a card and banish it. Then I play 2 copies of Harmonic. It's not needed in any more than 2 because it only has 1600 attack. You can special summon this guy and then destroy a monster on your opponent's side of the field. It's basically Smashing Ground, or not Smashing Ground, Soul Take, but they don't gain life points. It just pops a monster on the field. That's all it really does. It's really pretty. I don't understand why it's the ultra rare one. I think that Pat Rula would have made a prettier ultra rare, but hey, that's just me. Same thing, you can tribute a monster to banish a card. Then we have 3 copies of Antra. Antra is better than, this is why I only play 2 copies of Harmonic. Antra is you target a card on your opponent's side of the field, and you can target one face-up card your opponent controls and return that target to your hand. Now, when you start getting into these smaller Infernoids, you have to banish from your hand, I believe. Let me check. Cannot be normal summon or set, must be special summon from your hand by banishing one Infernoid. Nope, can be from the hand or graveyard. But, something to tell you guys, okay? Antra, Harmonic, Patrula, these cannot be special summoned from the graveyard. Now, this is how they become Chaos Dragons 2.0. These, Semesta, Antadel, Inunku, and Deviati can all be special summoned from the graveyard by banishing other Infernoids, which is really neat. But that's the only ones that can. These are the only ones that can right here. These cannot, once these are sent to the graveyard, they're in the graveyard and they're basically banishing fodder. Okay, then I play one of the Night Beam ones. I think it's Prisma, something like, I always call it a little Prisma. But with this one, it's basically a Night Beam. That's all it really does. Let's see, once per turn, target one set card on the field and shuffle it into the deck. So instead of banishing, it shuffles into the deck, which is kind of neat. It has 0 attack, 0 defense. It's usually just a really quick banish or send it back to the deck and then go with it. This one also cannot be special summoned from the graveyard, but it only requires 1 to banish for it. Patrula only requires 1. Antadel requires 2. The littler ones only require 1. Semesta and Antadel require 2. And then I play 3 copies of Decatron. Decatron, when it is a little unique, it's the only Infernoid that can actually be normal summoned. None of the other ones can be normal summoned. When you normal summon this, you can send any other Infernoid from your deck, or when it's special summoned, you can send any Infernoid from your deck to the graveyard. When you send it to the graveyard, you can, it steals its effect and it steals its level. It adds its level to this. So if, let's say you send a Nunku, okay, it can now negate spell cards, okay? But it becomes a level 11, because a Nunku's 10, this is 1, so that becomes 11. So it's kind of neat, it just steals effects. That's all it really does, and it's a tuner of the deck. That's it for the Infernoids. Now let's get into the regular monsters. I play 1 copy of Lila because she pops spells and traps, and she's a quick defense, you know, pop a spell or trap, switch to defense, mill 3 at the end of the turn. I play 3 copies of Raiden because Raiden helps out with milling. I normal summon it, I mill 2, I start my plays. At end phase, I mill 2 more, and he's a tuner. I play 2 copies of Lumina. I discard a card, special summon my Raiden back, go into my Michael plays or my Scrap Archfiend plays. So that's why he's really, or she's really good. Mill 3 at the end of the turn. 2 Card Trooper, mill 3. If it's destroyed by battle, you draw 2. So that's it for the monsters. It's really simple with these, that's why I sped through them. But that's it for the monsters. Let's get into the spells. So first off, I'm playing 1 copy of Monster Gate. Now keep in mind, these are going to be spells because they were on the bottom. Spells are traps. This, you tribute a monster, reveal cards on the top of your deck until you hit a monster that you can special summon. Now the only ones that you can special summon from your deck are Decatron, Lila, Raidens, Luminas, or Card Troopers. That's all you can special summon off of Reasoning or Monster Gate, which I do still play 1 Reasoning. But everything else, if you hit an Infernoid, they go to grave, which is good because it sets up your graveyard. 1 Foolish because you want to send crap to grave. 1 for 1 because you want to get out Decatron and steal an effect and send the exact Infernoid you want to the grave because it's essentially a walking Foolish. 1 Galaxy Cyclone because you're going to mill it, and I don't see the point in playing Twin Twister when it's just going to get sent to grave. 1 Burial from Different Dimension because Burial lets me restart my Infernoid plays, and it gives me a free Anunku or Deviati. 2 Charge of the Light Brigades because Charge of the Light Brigade sends 3 off the top of my deck, and this deck really focuses on milling, like super fast milling. So I mill 3 and then I draw a, what's it called? Lightsworn out of my deck. Then I play 3 copies of Drag Down to the Grave, because if I can send key cards out of my opponent's hand to the graveyard, it's really going to help me out, and I don't really give a damn what they send out of my hand to the grave. Because I'm going to either set what I don't want them to get rid of, normal summon it, or quickly special summon it. I have access to get anything out of my hand at any time to give you access to only discard the cards that I want you to discard. Now, without further ado, guys, these are my tech cards, okay? Yeah, I know you've been waiting on it, but here we go. Left Arm Offering. Now, the reason Left Arm Offering is such a great card is because this. Let me read it to you. A lot of people look at this card and they're like, God, that's terrible. But listen. If you have 2 or more cards in your hand, banish your entire hand and add 1 spell card from your deck to your hand. You cannot set spell or trap cards to turn you activate this. You can add a spell from your deck. You're going to get, normally, this or this to start your plays. Okay? I don't care about banishing my hand. If I banish 2 Infernoids, I'm already going to be doing that like crazy. But this draws out either one of these to get my plays rolling. It is such a good card to play. It is amazing, and it makes Infernoids alive. It really is like playing 4 copies of Reasoning or 4 copies of Monster Gate. And look, it's even got the guy from Reasoning to suggest, hey, play this. I know, he's got a turban on, whatever. It's kind of a ode to that. But I think it's really neat. I think it works very well, but that's my secret tech. It really is a great card. If you don't have them, get them. But that's it for the main deck. Let's get into the extra deck, guys. So, first off, I'm playing 1 Hope Harboring Dragon Titanic Galaxy, which is still a tongue twister for me. It's a really good card, and that's why I'm using this mat, is because it's the brother card of number 107, in my opinion. It can negate spells or spell cards if they're activated once per turn. And it's just really good. I can negate, or I can detach 1 card from this card, change the attack to this card. If an opponent's monster declares an attack, I can make it attack this instead of my card troopers. If a face-up XYZ monster you control is destroyed by battle, you can target 1 face-up XYZ monster you control. It gains attack equal to 1 of those destroyed monsters. So if one of my XYZ is destroyed, I can make this get bigger. So it's just such a great card. It's probably one of the best cards in Premium Gold 3. 1 copy of Felgrand, because sometimes I want to protect stuff. You use 2 Untadels to get this. 1 copy of Red Eyes Flare Metal. Flare Metal is just Semestas or Decatrons, which you steal the level, or not Decatron, you can't get 7 without Sagetti. But you can get Decatron to 8 with this by sending Semesta. 1 Draco Sack, because I want to pop stuff and protect myself. It's a very defensive play. Castel, because I want to spin stuff. Daigusto Emerald, because with Daigusto Emerald, I can spin certain monsters that I want back, like Card Trooper Ride and stuff like that, and then I get to draw a card. Break Sword, because I can make it with Harmonic, and it's just pretty good. Dante, because Dante mills stuff, and it really helps with, if you normal summon out Decatron and send Antra, then it becomes level 3. Special summon out Harmonic, overlay into this, mill 3, and then you're starting your plays. Star Eater, because you can synchro into it. Leo, because again, you can synchro into it, and it's pretty fun to get into it. Trishula, because surprisingly enough, it's not that hard to get into Trishula when you have a card that can change its level so easily. It's really stupid easy to get into Trishula, and it's fun. Now, this is one of the cards I was talking about. Since it counts as a normal monster, it doesn't count towards your levels, because only on Infernoid cards it specifically says that if you control effect monsters. And this doesn't count. Then 1 Michael, because I do play Lightsworns and I want to banish stuff sometimes. 1 Goyo, because Goyo can, poke and steal stuff. And then 1 Gaia Knight, the Force of Earth. I was right, it was called the Force of Earth. This also doesn't count towards your levels. So if you're going to make a big play, make this or Scrap Archfiend if you can synchro. But anyways, guys, that's it. That's my Infernoid deck. I know it took a little while, and I'm sorry that I went so in-depth with it if you guys already know Infernoids, but I make my deck profiles for people who don't know the decks. But Left Arm Offering, I cannot emphasize how good that card is in this deck. But without further ado, guys, I guess I'm going to cut it here. I'm DarkArmedAlliance. Don't forget to join DarkArmedAlliance and subscribe, guys. Don't forget to pick up your Left Arm Offerings if you're going to play Infernoids, because it is an amazing card. And I'm DarkArmedAlliance, and I'm out.